Hello and welcome to Katharine's Creatures. This is a series where we're going to talk a little bit about and touch base upon various mythological beasts, beings, and the like, pulled from lore worldwide. And I always like to preface by saying I'm not a linguist, so if I mispronounce anything, I do apologize in advance. And today I want to talk about almost a subcategory, but I guess it's better worded as a regional variant of a rather familiar creature, and we're going to be talking about the Bigfoot, aka Sasquatch, but particularly the reports of those kind of creatures in the state of Georgia where I live. And this was inspired because I had some friends visit a particular museum. We'll get to that in a moment. And just had kind of fun going down that research rabbit hole for this particular thing, because going back to the basics, Bigfoot, aka Sasquatch, is this mythical or cryptid, depending on who you talk to, humanoid creature, bipedal, so it stands upright, walks on 2 feet, usually described as having shaggy fur on the darker hues, potentially having a musty smell to them, again, rather large, sizable feet, thus the nickname Bigfoot. Most of the reports of these creatures are across the North America, and they cluster predominantly around the Pacific Northwest. But like I said, we're going to go down to the southeast and talk about the variety from Georgia. And this variety, actually one particular area has a sub-regional name for it called Elkins Creek Beast, but it's just another term for the Bigfoot. Now, Bigfoot sightings have occurred throughout the state of Georgia, ranging from Fannin County up to the Blue Ridge Mountains area, all the way down to Clinch County, which has the Okefenokee Swamps. So north to south, there have been reports of some kind of Bigfoot-like creature lurking about. Some of these reports are accompanied with reports of sound and audio, so the vocalizations of the creatures. These can range from whoops and howls, possibly even grunts and growls, but again, these kind of more animalistic sounds. Now, it was also noted that you may have a Bigfoot nearby if, when you're in these woodlands or swamps, all of a sudden the area grows eerily quiet without any explanation. So that may be a signal that there's a presence of a Bigfoot in the area. Now, just as the name sounds like, one of the things they're noted is to have very, very large feet. One description said the large footprints that were found in one particular instance have ranged up to 17 inches long and have this 4-toe pattern versus the 5 toes that most people have. So a little different, and thus distinguishing it from just the footprint of a rather large human. 17 inches is pretty large. Now, going on beyond that, the first actual record of a sighting of a Bigfoot-like creature in Georgia was reported in July 1950. I think it was 9, or might have been 7. I'll have to double check that one. So it's been a few years, but that was the first one that was actually reported. And in that particular instance, the person described that the Bigfoot creature was about 7 feet tall, which is the standard height in a lot of the reports, and having 15-inch footprints that were left behind, which had stride length of 48 inches, if you want to measure that. So that was the first one, and that was located around Macon, Georgia, so the center of Georgia. That was the original report. Since then, throughout the years, there have been numerous sightings, again, all over the state of Georgia. I'll give an example. In 1978, in Dahlonega, Georgia, there was a report of some kind of creature who was making these whooping sounds. And it was, again, another 7-foot-tall bipedal creature described having black fur and 16-inch long footprints or tracks. But reports, again, such as these, there's a whole number of them. There's actually, I'll put down in the content below, a site that has collected them and arranged them in chronological order. But these sightings go pretty much till today. For instance, there were 3 sightings documented in 2024, again, ranging from North Georgia all the way to Central Georgia, and in those descriptions, they're all talking about some 7-foot-tall creature with kind of, again, that dark-hued fur, and assuming to be Bigfoot. And again, depending on the document, they may or may not describe any odor. When they do, it's usually musky or a musty kind of sense, or smell. Anyhow, so reason why I got to do this little spiel, this little micro research project personally for the Bigfoot, was because in North Georgia there is a Bigfoot museum called Expedition Bigfoot, or the Sasquatch Museum, and it's supposed to be a collection of all different potential proofs that said Bigfoot lives and exists. And as anybody who's interested in cryptozoology or any of these kind of have not been verified true, but there are a lot of people believe that they are kind of creatures, it may be worth a stop to poke in and check out the museum yourselves. But I have yet to do that. It may have to be on my bucket list because I am now thoroughly curious what kind of proof they have gathered over the years about the sightings of some Bigfoot here in Georgia. So just letting you know, there's a fun fact for you. Now, if you have any questions about this or anything else, please post them in the comments below or reach out to me on any of my social media. And until next time, Skål.